Hello everyone. In this video, I will explain how you can solve question 6 in the unit exercise of Unit 8. On the left, we have question 6. It is divided into 3 parts, Part A, Part B, and Part C. We will go through them one by one in this video. First, let's look at the question. A student builds a motor car for a school STEM project. He installs an ultrasound sensor at the front of the car. The sensor measures the distance between the car and the wall. The student wants the speed of the motor to increase when the car is further from the wall, and wants the speed to decrease when the car is closer to the wall. It is given that the motor's speed increases with the supplied voltage. That means, we can decrease the motor's speed by reducing the supplied voltage. Now, let's look at Part A. It states that the processor varies the supplied voltage to the motor depending on the distance from the wall. The question is, how does the voltage vary with the distance between the car and the wall? To look at it simply, if the car is closer to the wall, the motor's speed will decrease. That means, a smaller supplied voltage will be needed. But, if the car is further from the wall, a larger supplied voltage will be needed. To score the mark, you only need to lay out this relationship clearly. For example, like this. The greater the distance between the car and the wall, the greater the supplied voltage to the motor. So, that's it for Part A. Now, let's look at Part B. In Part B, the student wants to check the voltage supplied to the motor. What instrument should he use to measure the voltage? You are asked to draw a suitable circuit symbol on the circuit diagram to represent the instrument. The instrument that should be used is none other than the voltmeter. To draw a voltmeter, first draw a circle, then put a V inside the circle. Then we need to connect it to the rest of the circuit. Recall that, the voltmeter needs to be connected in parallel, with the component that is measured. The student wants to measure the voltage across the motor. So, we should draw wires above and below the motor to the voltmeter. Don't forget to draw solid dots at the wire junctions, to show clearly where the connections are. Like this. After you have finished your drawing, compare it to the suggested answer here. There are 2 marks for this part, one for correctly drawing the circuit symbol of the voltmeter, and the other for putting the connections above and below the motor. And that's all for Part B. Now, let's look at Part C. In Part C, the car is moving towards the wall, that means, it is getting closer to the wall. You are asked to state the relationship between the voltage supplied to the motor, the current flowing through the motor, and the speed of the car. As the car is getting closer to the wall, the voltage supplied decreases. As a result, the current flowing through the motor also decreases. This means the motor will receive less electrical energy, so the car slows down. Like in Part A, you only need to write this relationship out to score all the marks. Now, write down your answer, then compare it with the suggested answer here. To score the first mark, state that the voltage supplied to the motor will decrease, and the current flowing through the motor will also decrease. And to get the second mark, state that the speed of the car will decrease. And now you've got the whole question done.